really want to stress right at the outset that as hot a topic as the subject and allegations involving these couple of women might well be, I don't want to deal with it. It is really at the heart of it the fault of Daniel Andrews, a lot of this suffering. And we just need to let the courts do what it is they're going to do, Bronwyn. I mean, Queenslanders are angry, as I'm sure Sydney-siders are angry. The contact tracing has traced all the stuff in Sydney back to Victoria. But if charges are laid, the courts have got to do their job, Bronwyn.
To me, it brings up another point altogether. It says we really have to look after our young. We really have to ensure that they get a good education, that they get good moral values, that they care for each other and look after each other and care for their fellow human beings and fellow citizens. And yet that is being systematically destroyed by socialism. So when I see what has happened with those young people and the fact that that Melbourne virus, and we know it's the Melbourne strain because it's identifiable, has been brought into Queensland in that way, I can see why people are angry. But it does make me angry that we are allowing the things that we hold precious that used to be so prevalent in our society, where we were under an obligation to look after each other, where we did have high moral values, where education was something to be valued. It wasn't a place where ideology was pumped down people's throats, but it was where people were allowed to come and to think and to learn how to think, to learn how to challenge and to learn how to debate. And those things need to come back into reality. And we are suffering as a result of that, what could go on to be devastating for so many people that Queensland hadn't had up until then. And of course it has brought about cutting off another 5 million people from New South Wales being able to cross the borders to go into Queensland, to assist with Queensland's businesses. It is devastating. It is just devastating.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I mean, Colin Tinkle from 1 o'clock tonight, from 1 o'clock Saturday morning. So, you know, just a matter of 4 hours from now. That's it. Sydney-siders are not allowed in. 8,000 people are arriving into Brisbane, southeast Queensland, as we speak. There are still planes flying. The last one, I think, will land about midnight Brisbane time. People are coming out of Sydney. Queensland is returning home. In Western Australia, you're still hard borders. Is this... I don't think hard borders are the answer at all, by the way. I've got to say, I think that this is crazy. But I understand the sentiment, understand the emotion, Colin.
Yeah, look, I really feel sorry for both the people of Sydney that may wanted to go up to Queensland to holiday during the cooler months. It's, you know, obviously it just takes one or two idiots to muck it up for millions of other people. I think the courts will deal with those young ladies, very soon, and we'll just see what happens with that. But look, as far as our WA border goes, Gary, I mean, I have sentiments. I mean, I'm a West Australian first, but I'm also an Australian, and I actually look at what's going on around the world, and there's a lot that needs to be done in Western Australia to fix things in Western Australia. People are just talking about COVID-19 and that, that McGowan and Labor government is doing a good job keeping us all safe. But when I look at the unemployment, it's higher than any other state. I look at the cut-offs of electricity in WA, higher than any other state. House prices are lower than any other state, going down in big numbers. Unemployment and underemployment is approaching 500,000 people once job seeker finishes. I mean, we are in desperate stakes over here. So it's not all about COVID. That's the newspaper, that's the front story. But behind that, when job seeker and job finder goes, we are in a big mess in WA, and that'll be the story. When job seeker and job finder and job keeper finish, that'll be the big story over here in Western Australia.